All right. I don't really know what the new draw system is. That's not an extremely good play. A little too big on the jump. This guy obviously likes really big jumps. But that doesn't actually defend. I mean, that defends it, but you need more moves than that to actually defend it that way. Looks like he's just going for the little side there. I don't think that's big enough, and that doesn't completely defend the side anyways. Just take this corner. Take this corner as well. Go ahead and take that corner, I guess. I figured they all do that these days. Let's take away some of the base. I figured he'd probably do that. Jump up. This guy's playing pretty fast. These invasions are always kind of risky. He's actually pretty well protected in this over here. There's still this cut over here that I'm sort of worried about, but not really that worried about, so I guess I can do this. Let's go ahead and formulate that. That's not a great move. Just going to take advantage of some of this stuff here. I mean, there's not much in the corner now since he's actually done that. And I've reduced his territory here substantially. Also going to do this. Just continue to reduce his territory a little bit. As well as solidifying my own a little bit. And coming up a little bit over here as well. He is going to make some eyes there, obviously. But right now, I'm substantially ahead of him right now. Because he... See, the thing is, like, you can just get, like, small advantages. And if you get these small advantages, like, and he doesn't actually answer well, you can get substantially ahead of the other guy pretty easily. You can definitely get substantially ahead of the other guy pretty easily. I'm not really sure what else would be like really big moves. I guess this would be fine. He didn't need to do that. And like that territory is now mine as well. So like I'm essentially making him answer me on certain things. I'm essentially making him answer me on certain things. And that's actually going to melt into just my overall lead on him. Because all he's really got is this down here, and I have like all this over here. So you can see I'm with the Comey, I'm actually ahead by a certain amount. And this is a game I really didn't have to fight all that much to win. So like this is a perfect example of little things adding up over the long run, and basically me basically just increasing my essentially me just increasing my lead bit by bit. I didn't need to win any spectacular fight or anything to actually win this game. I essentially just won this game, like basically I essentially just won this game by playing a little bit at a time, just playing like more moves for better points than he did. And that's really all you need. That's really all you need to do. You don't need to. That's realistically all you really need to do. You don't really need to do anything like super spectacular. Like it might look like he has a lot of points down here, but like compared to everything here, it's just really not all that much, as you can see. It's pretty obvious. Like like for any player that's decent at the game, it should be pretty obvious who's actually winning this game. And he just doesn't have enough points. He has nowhere near the amount of points that I do required to actually win. I think this is Sente. I mean, that's definitely Sente. I'm going to take this because that's actually pretty large. But this is just like going, this is basically just going bit by bit. Okay. That's not going to work. Blocking here would result in Ko, but going here means he dies. Just a little bit of a kind of like corner Tsuji. Well, not really even Tsuji. Just a little bit of a corner thing that you guys should actually know. Just like little bits adding up. He resigned, obviously. You estimate score, I'm up by almost 40 points. And this is just like little bits at a time. Little bits at a time. Like, I didn't kill anything. There was no fighting in this game. Very peaceful game. But yet, in the end, I win by almost 40 points. And this is an easy way you can win just by, like, outpointing your opponents. And we'll go back and review this game. I mean, I know it's not as sexy and exciting as some of the other games, but this is just like, you know, more efficient moves. Obviously, basic start. That's not a very good move. That's generally not a very good move. This, honestly, is a much better move. It's much more solid. It protects much better. So let's go on. I do this. He does that. I mean, same thing. Like, this might look big, but either this or this is just a better move. It protects much better than this. There's a lot more. If you go one more over, there's so much more Aji that can happen. So just one of those would be much better moves. That is like, you don't have to fly into the corner. You can do that to build up your shape, which is what I did. This is not horrible, but at this point in the game, there's just bigger moves right now. I wouldn't invade the 3-3 anyways, because like if you block this way, you would destroy like my influence on this. You would destroy my this side. So I wouldn't play the 3-3 right now anyways. I might attach and I might cost you a couple of points, but spending an extra move on that right now is not as big as like going here or going here. So I do this to get this half of the board. I might just been better off going here, but I kind of like want to pincer this as well. He does this. He's protecting this side, but right now he's spending too many moves on this side while I'm protecting the rest of this bottom. So I go with the middle star, like, you know, and then he does this. Like, I understand he really wants this territory. I totally understand that, but he's giving up way too much to get that. You can see, like, my potential on the side is huge here, and even if I go over and, like, give up a little bit of territory, I'll still be ahead at the end. He plays here. I'm going to secure this corner. He jumps up. I jump over. And he does this. I think if I was playing against another 6-dan or something, I would probably like jump up or just immediately do this or something. But since I don't think he can actually kill me here, I'm just going to go over here and protect my corner over here. And it is actually really hard to kill this particular shape right here. He does this. I'm going to protect the other corner. Now he does this. So here you can actually extend in. This would, I mean, if you do this, I'm going to go backwards, so that's probably not great. But you can just do this and connect. But that does mean like you don't have too many eyes. You don't have that much eye space here. So he does this, I do this. There's still the cut here, and that would give me some trouble, but right now it's probably not worth it for him. So that's basically what happened. I do this, he does this. I'm going to secure that corner even more by doing this. If I were black, I would just ignore this and play somewhere else. I would probably just either jump out more. I would probably jump out more or something. I know some of you might be thinking this invasion, right? That probably isn't great right now because you would just create another weak group for yourself, and this group isn't completely settled now that I've done that. Either jump out more or, you know, like play somewhere else, or, well, maybe not play somewhere else, but either jump out more or, you know, do something. Not exactly sure what. I might just, like, if I was black, I might just start attacking this group, honestly. Because there's not a great way for me to, like, for white to approach this group either. I mean, I guess there is that. That would put it in a little bit of trouble, but you can always just jump out. So if I was him, I would probably, like, think about either maybe invading on this side because you're strong over here, but also like just trying to attack this group, and while attacking this group, like trying to build your moyo out here and get some points in this area. That's probably what I would do as black. He blocks, which is good for me. I jump up, he jumps up, I jump over here. That's not necessary. I mean, yes, now you see, like, this is part of the weakness of playing this move. Because now, like, if I jump up here, there might be something if I do this. I said might. I'm not really sure if there is or not. Because if I attach here, you don't actually have to hane. Sorry. Like, if you just, like, do something else, let's say this. Let's say this. Like, if I attach here, you can just go up. And I don't really know, like, yeah, I don't really know all the transformations and movements. That would actually give me quite a bit of trouble. I mean, I might have to do this, but then haneing here, I don't think this is alive. Yeah, this is definitely not alive. Not that. This is definitely not alive. So that definitely would not be a good move for me. All right, so if I attach here, you can just go up. And there's really not much I can do about it because I'm extremely low. I'm actually extremely low on liberties down here, and there's a lot of extension space up here. So, like, attaching there is not that great of a move. If I think if black extends up, that's really not that great of a move. So, I mean, there is Aji here. There's definitely Aji here. And even that, you can just, like, go up, and it's kind of hard for white to respond. It is really hard for white to respond on this. I don't think the ladder might actually work here. Yeah, I think it might actually work here. I'm not really sure if this blocks it or not. I don't think so. I think the ladder might actually work here for white. But even so, like, it's not... I mean, I'm not really sure how much this works, honestly. No, it doesn't really work for white. So, yeah, I don't really know. Like, that invasion is kind of difficult. You can actually play, like, you can definitely play, like, this side, obviously, which would actually be easier. So, you could actually play this side, and obviously this wouldn't work as well for black. But I guess him jumping here is just to protect his side, but he spent so many stones protecting this territory. And he's given me so much advantage for doing this. So I'm just going to jump up and protect my side as well. He does this, I'm going to fly over. He does this, I'm going to protect this cut, and also threaten his 2 stones right here. He does this. I'm obviously going to do that. And that's, I don't know if that's a good move or not, because I'm just using this to establish my base. I'm just using this to establish my base, because I'd rather settle in base than do anything else here. So obviously I'm going to attach, and I'm just taking advantage of this because he can't actually let me break here. Actually, that wouldn't be all that bad. That honestly wouldn't be all that bad, because like getting this much corner might actually just be worth like sacrificing this, and it probably actually is. And I still don't really have a base down here if he does that, you know. Whereas like, you know, if so actually going over here might have been the better move, because that's a huge amount of that's pretty good point swing right there. Even though and the reason why that is there's not that many points up here. There's really not that many points up here. So that might have been the better obvious move right there. But he goes here, he connects. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this Hane because I know this is Sente. Yes, you might be saying, oh, that gets rid of the Aji in the corner, but there's not much in here anyways. So that's fine. I'm doing this because I know he's going to block. I'm definitely doing this, taking advantage of this because I know he's going to block. And I'm just going to go get the points here. Because by my calculation, if I do this, if I keep on taking advantage of him here, I easily have enough territory to win. Like if you estimate score right now, you count the points, White's ahead by like 20-something points. So just by like making more efficient moves, I'm actually over 20 points ahead of him. Of course, I jump up here. He's going to do that and then try to go down here, but that just solidifies my territory. There is that, but I'm not too worried about this actually. I mean, right now, if I was black, I would probably try this just because black's behind by so much that you have to try something. You definitely have to try something right now if you're black, because you are behind by a lot of points. I don't think this is an easy play for black because he's not too strong over here either. But you have to try something like that at this point, because this is actually a weak cutting point for white, and white does not actually have the ladder in this case. Maybe I would just go down here instead. White does not actually have the ladder in this case, so you might do something like this. You still have to protect this cut, I believe, because if you don't protect this cut, you don't have the ladder. And then with this, if I cut here, you might actually be in trouble. You would be in trouble. But then there's like, you know, there's this. And then you would get this down here, which would definitely work out for black very, very well. White would break down here, but these stones are worth more. That's kind of complicated, but you do give up this up here to get like this down here, but your territory down here is broken, and now your 3 stones are weak. But I still think it's worth it breaking white's territory and taking a good chunk of territory yourself as well. And if white does this, you just come along in here and break more of his territory. I think he can live. I think white can live down there, but I mean you're breaking all his territory, but you sacrifice yours as well. So, you know, it's kind of an exchange. I don't know if it's worth it or not actually to do that, because you are giving up a lot here as well. But he might be just giving up this down here. Although he can live if he just like tiger's mouse all the way over. So those are things you have to think about. Those are definitely things you have to think about. May not be worth it though. May actually not be worth it. Because he can actually do this. And you can't actually Hane. So he can just keep on doing this until he's alive. Even if you do this, like, you know, he's basically already alive at this point. You're breaking all his territory, but you have to be you do have to be aware that sometime around here you have to do sometime like probably before you make this extension, you actually have to do something like this, because you got to make sure that you're alive, and then you're losing all your territory down here. So maybe not really worth it. So yeah, that may not really be worth it, since you can't kill this group down here. But there are a lot of transformations if he actually cuts. charges and cuts. And honestly, I would charge and cut right now if I was black, just to see what white does, because I'm behind by so much. So if I just play regularly, I'm going to lose anyways. Do this, do this. I'm going to protect this cut up here to avoid that transformation. He does this. I'm going to do this to break up this moyo here. It's not really all that relevant. I'm going to secure this corner here and do this, and then get this up here. This has its weaknesses because now he can fly up in here. And this isn't quite alive yet, but it's close enough to where I'm not really that worried. So, but if he gets really, really strong out here, I am going to have to protect down here. These are just, I mean, he plays these wrong, but these don't really matter. I play this. I definitely am going to play this just to make sure that this is okay here. And of course, these are all just ending moves. They're not all that important. That move is actually really big. That's like at least 6 or 7 points there. Plus it like absolutely settles this piece over here. These aren't all that important. I'm just fixing things. This is also really big because this move is also really big because if he hanes, I have to extend. So that's also really big. That's dead. So here's the thing. If you have to know how to play this for a lower ranked player. If you do this and he does this, it's ko. But if you jump, he's dead. So that's what I did. If you jump, he's dead. So, oops, sorry. If you jump, he's dead, and that's what I did. So that's how you play the Tetsuji corner thing right there. Obviously, he dies. I secure the points. And this is the place where he basically resigns. And he resigns here because he's down by like close to 40 points. So that is a game where basically you just play more efficient moves, you get more territory, and in the end, he just doesn't have enough points. And that's, my friends, is how you win this game. You don't have to kill anything. You don't have to do anything healthy. You don't have to do anything fancy or flashy. You just have to make better moves. Little things add up. Like, basically, each of my moves were slightly more effective than his, and because of that, I ended up winning the game. And that's how you play. That's one way to play better Go. You don't have to fight. You don't have to attack. You don't have to kill anything. You just have to play more efficient moves and play better Go. So I hope you learned something. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys next time.